So tonight we're going to be looking at how did I attach this watercolour onto this canvas, varnish it and then attach it using this varnish, and then attach it using this gloss super heavy gel medium. So join me as we do that. So this is a bit of a random video tonight. I'm getting ready to do a big commission which I'll record, which is going to be over 2 meters long and 1 meter wide. And so what I want to do with that is paint it, then varnish it, and then attach it onto a canvas. So it'll be much deeper than this, but attach it onto a canvas once it's varnished, and then ship it to the client like that. So that's what I'm going to just experiment with tonight, to just see how I go about doing that, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to varnish this first. So I'm going to take this outside to varnish it, and I'm just going to use this New Art picture varnish, but when I go to do it I'll probably use a higher quality varnish than this, but I just know that you go in sweeping motions and you finish past the page as you go back and forth, and then go the other way, back and forth. It doesn't really say how many layers I should do, but from experience I think I'll do quite a few. Like I think probably at least 4 layers, but we'll see. I'll just use matte first because I would prefer that it end up looking like a watercolour, and then we'll go from there. Now the mistake I made last time I did this on a even smaller scale than this was I didn't apply enough layers with the spray varnish, and then when I went to paint on more of a liquid varnish like this gloss medium varnish by Liquitex, the spray on varnish hadn't protected it enough, and then the brush started lifting up the watercolour. So I just want to make sure that this time there's definitely enough on there, and I might even think about, I'm not sure, I might think about just using lots and lots of layers of spray varnish, because at the moment I'm really liking this. We'll test it. When I finish this, we'll pour some water on it and see how it goes, because really what should happen is it should just come off and be protected. So I'm going to do another layer. This will be layer number 3. Alright, that seems pretty well protected now, like it feels well protected to me. I suppose the proof will be in the pudding. Let's just spray a bit of water onto here. Let's spray a bit of water onto there. Fair bit. So sit there for a bit. And then we'll just wipe that off. See if anything's coming off. See if it's disturbing any pigment. Sure. It's interesting. Let's just put a big dollop of water on here. I'm just going to let that sit there now, a big pool of water. And we'll see if over time that is protected the watercolour. So you can see that dollop of water right there, so I'm just going to let that sit there. and then we'll wipe it out and see if there's any marks anywhere suggesting that that was sitting on there for a while. Because there's very little coming off, but there is something coming off into my tissue. So to me that means it's not fully protected. 4 layers of spray varnish is probably not enough, and I'm probably going to have to do a gloss medium. The thing that I'm happy with, I've used matte varnish. You wouldn't really know that it had any varnish on it until you felt the paper, and then you would definitely know, because it feels strange. It obviously needs maybe a few more layers than 4, and I think I'd be okay doing that, because it doesn't seem to be making the painting go opaque, which is good. And I'm not quite sure, in some ways I'd rather, if it was really well protected, I'd rather do probably 10 layers of spray varnish if it keeps that real feel of a watercolour. As soon as you start painting something on top, the texture of that paper is going to be lost. Whereas at the moment, and especially if I used any rough papers, you would maintain that beautiful texture of the paper. Even though it feels different to my hand, no one would really know that. So it would still look exactly like a watercolour, but just right in front of your eyes and not behind glass. So I think what I might end up doing now is just seeing how I go attaching this. So this gloss super heavy gel by Liquitex is what people have suggested you can use to attach paper onto canvas. So we'll give that a bit of a go. So what I'm just going to do is just apply this liberally onto here. And of course, if I was doing this with a very important artwork, I would put something down on the desk. I haven't done this squarely, but I might just try and just fix that up a little bit. Whoa, no, I won't. Super stuck down. So when I do this, I think what I'll do is use very high quality stainless steel staples. And I know like this canvas here has been stapled like this, but I do know that quite a few canvases that I've bought over the years have been stapled at a very slight angle all the way around. But we'll just stick with this for now. So a couple of things I just learned just then is that, and this might be different depending on the size of the canvas. If it's bigger, it probably wouldn't apply as much, but when I stapled the long sides, what I needed to do is not staple right to the edges, because when I started trying to fold the corners in, having staples right to the edge meant I couldn't do it properly. So I probably should have left, I suppose, like even kind of 4 inches on either side. With no staples. And also this size canvas, I needed to fold in the corners at both ends before stapling, because once I stapled one and then I tried to do the other one, it almost ripped the other one out by having to do that. So and so I know this piece of paper wasn't square, and you could of course chop the excess off, but on the whole it does produce a pretty good corner, really. You know, it's pretty beautiful, nice, neat edge. And obviously, if it was a bit of a thicker canvas, that would be better. And if I just took my time doing the edges, that would probably be better too. But on the whole, I think, you know, obviously this would end up having more layers of varnish, but that on a huge canvas just hung up on the wall, it's relatively light, and I think on the whole would be pretty good. I think what I would prefer to do is to paint the painting, varnish it, then attach it using this this gloss super heavy gel medium with the canvas not on the stretcher bars, and then mount the whole lot together. I think that would probably be better, because if I'm doing a huge canvas and it's got stretcher bars going across, it'll be harder to get that paper to attach really well down onto there. So that's it tonight on how to attach a watercolour onto an existing canvas and varnishing it. And just I'm going to be making a few more videos like this as I move on to doing the commission in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing a few more videos in the next few weeks, and wet skies. So cool, I hope you found that helpful, and let me know if you've got any questions, and thanks very much for tuning in tonight, and I will see you in the next episode. Good night.